Hey everyone, it's Tom here from the Doctors Collective.
Hi, I'm Marie.
And Marie, today we're talking about being in business with your spouse. A lot of doctors are working with their partners. We're going to be talking about that and why boundaries are important. Now, before we get into it, if you want to know more about how you can work better with your partner and grow business, if business is causing problems for your relationship, click the link around this video and you can have a chat with us and we can see how we can help you. But let's jump into it, because last week I planned to talk about working with your partner, and I got really excited. And I committed both of us to it, but I didn't actually talk to Marie about it beforehand. And it turned out that she was excited.
Would have been a good idea to talk to her.
Yeah, she was excited about. She loves this topic, but at the same time, she was really sick. She's had that gastro thing going around.
Bug.
So yeah, we didn't do it last week, so we're doing it this week, and it was actually a really good lesson. Because sometimes you're really strong together and you smash things out, and at times you have to be compassionate towards your partner and appreciate that there are times to rest and times that you got to look after each other. So that was a good lesson.
Yeah.
But I thought nonetheless this is a really important topic with a lot of people who that were interested on social media, so I thought we'd do it anyway. We'll do it this week, even though it's a little bit late. That's cool.
Better late than never.
That's it. So we're talking about we're sitting there going, what are the big things that we've learned working together? And the biggest ones are around boundaries. All right, boundaries. What do we mean by boundaries? Well, what's okay, what's not okay, who does what, that kind of stuff. And there's two areas that we want to talk about around boundaries. And the first one is, when is it okay to talk business and when is it not? Do you want to tell the story about that?
Well, look, when we first started our business, everything that we had, mentally, physically, we literally put everything into the business all the time. And often when you're starting a business, that's what it takes. Like, that's normal. That is what most people do when they're starting a business. But once your business is up and running and you're past that sort of initial growth stage, then it can start to take over your entire life. And that's what was happening with Tom and I when we first started working together. It was just day and night. We would talk about work or the business.
And even now, it's very easy for us to talk business all the time.
Because we both love it. So it's like we literally could just talk business all the time. But that does not make a healthy relationship.
No.
So,
and it gets boring.
Yeah, right? Like, we do other things other than work and business together as well. So we just put some rules in place and put some boundaries when we can talk about business, when we shouldn't. If we want to break those rules, then having a conversation. Like, for example, if Tom, at 9:00 at night goes, "Oh, I got this great idea. We're going to do this. Like, we're having this event, no BS, Entrepreneurship for Doctors. That's it. He's like, "Oh my God, I got a perfect name for the event. Can I talk about it?" And he'll literally ask. And he'll respect my boundaries. And I go, "No, it's 9:00 at night and I'm exhausted and I don't want to think business anymore. You've got wife Marie, not business partner Marie right now." Yeah. And that's when things started to get a little bit easier, when we knew, okay, we needed to be focused on work. And when we knew, okay, we need to be focused on being loving spouses or mum and dad or our family or our friends or whatever it was. Because otherwise it just got out of hand.
Yeah, it's very easy to talk business the whole time, and then that affects other areas of life as well. So we'll have that boundary. We'll say, "You know what? When we're at home, we've left the office. We're not talking about business."
The other way it works as well. Like, we don't really talk about home stuff at work. So if we're at work and it's like, who's done the dishes? We don't bring that fight to the office at all. It's not good for our staff, firstly. That's definitely not a positive place to work. But it's also not healthy for our relationship. Like, we certainly wouldn't treat a colleague like that. So why would I treat my husband, who I love very dearly? So it's really about having boundaries for us and knowing, and us both being on the same page about that. So it's not just, oh, this is what I decided and this is what's going to happen. Yeah. It's like we both talked about, okay, what should these boundaries be? When do we talk about business? When is it okay? Is it a time limit? Is it like, okay, nothing past 7 p.m.? Is it a location? Like, for us, it's very much like, okay, we've left the office. It's time to switch business mode off, time to switch home mode on. But I mean, you've got to sort that out with your partner.
Yeah. The other thing about boundaries, the other area of boundaries, well, there's a whole bunch of them, in fact, in regards to, we just brought up a few good points. But the other thing is the who does what, right, in the office, because it can be very easy to make assumptions and have expectations, or there's all this, we do everything together, or I find that doesn't really work for us. Having a job description essentially for each person, who does what and what are the expectations, and being super clear about that means that we can for example, I'm really good at the marketing side of things. Marie's fantastic at the sales, and so when I do the marketing, I'm in charge of that, and I take responsibility for it, good or bad. And if I want to, I get Marie's feedback on it, or if she has something to say about it, she'll tell me as well. But it's my responsibility, and that's what I do. And Marie's much better at the sales. I mean, we both do it, but then it's her strength. So we play to our strengths by creating these job descriptions, and also it prevents a lot of arguments, because we find that for us, we can't work on the same thing at the same time. Not even now. Like,
and it's been a long time.
This morning, we were like, we can't give one of our private clients feedback at the same time on the WhatsApp message. We have to, I'll do my bit, then you listen to it, and you add your bit into it. Right? That works much better. Or early on, we try and work on the same thing at the same time, and it was mayhem.
Disaster.
We'd be arguing and say, no, that's not how it's done, whatever. So now we decided, right, I'll do my bit, you do yours separately. Then we come together and see what we agree on and kind of come up with a final draft. And usually one person will take the lead. Often what happens
actually
is...
always.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if no one's in charge, no one's in charge.
Yeah. So,
right?
For example, it's a piece of marketing, then I'll write it, and then Marie will review it. Or if it's something else, for example, Marie will write it, and then I'll review it. Rather than us... That's actually what it's evolved to recently. Rather than us working on the same thing from scratch, one person will get started, the other one will give kind of feedback and guidance. I mean, feedback in itself is a topic we can cover at another time.
Do you know what is really interesting, though? I did an amazing interview with Wendy Powell, who's the owner of Mutu System. And I created like a magazine article for her. I'm sure you guys will see it on the website soon. And I said to Tom, can you just review it, make sure it looks okay? I'm going to make it live very soon. And he said, well, what do you want me to review it for? So what are the outcomes of that? And I went, actually, I just want to make sure there's no typos and that the way that it reads is easy to read. And actually, he wasn't the best person to do that.
If you want no typos, I'm not the person to go
right?
to.
And so actually, just by articulating what it was that I wanted, I was able to go, Karina, who works for us, is way better, much more attention to detail than he is. And do you know what? Whether he likes it or not is not actually the feedback that I want. I want somebody to look through it with a fine-tooth comb. So just articulating the outcomes that you want can often see, is even your partner the best person to be doing that? And if the answer is yes, great, because then you can say, okay, can you have a look out for whatever outcome you want, rather than just going, here, you do it, or do you have a look at it for whatever reason?
Because can you look at this? It's like, what does that mean?
Exactly.
And then you end up in an argument about the quality, the feedback that you... Well, actually, we'll talk about feedback another time. But those were the two main areas we wanted to cover. Yeah, that's a whole video in itself. How to give feedback, when to give feedback, when to not give feedback, what type of feedback to give. Whole thing in itself.
I'm going to not take that personally.
No, well, no. I mean, give it to me. Yeah, so if you're in business and you like what you're hearing here, and you work with your partner and you want to get a bit more help in how to make sure the business grows, but also your relationship survives and thrives, then click the link around this video and get in touch with us. We can have a conversation as to how we can help you do that.
It'll likely be me.
Yeah, well, we've been really having a chat with you. But those were the two main areas around boundaries, which was when to talk business, when not to, and why that's important, and also job descriptions. And so we'll do some more of these coming soon. Enjoy, and all the best.
Bye.